Well, let's bring in National Senator Matt Canavan. On that rainfall, first of all, Senator, good morning to you and thank you very much for joining us. We're just seeing there with our meteorologist Tamsin the situation in the Victorian fire area. Some better news there, but where you are, I think I can hear the rain.
You might be able to, Janie. It just hasn't stopped raining for the last couple of days here in central Queensland. Look, thankfully the cyclone itself wasn't as damaging as feared, and there's been much more devastation down there in Victoria. My heart goes out to those people who've lost homes and some unfortunately tragically lost lives. But yes, it's just raining here. It's main thing is people keep out of those flood waters. That's the main safety risks now. Otherwise, just hunker down and we'll have a lot of mowing and gardening to do in a week or two's time. Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of stock loss, as you will know, in the state. It's just devastating to see. Switching topics though, Senator, the Albanese government's new laws in response to the Bondi terror attack, they're due to be released today, and Parliament is heading 2 weeks earlier, next Monday, to discuss the legislation, fast-tracking, by the sounds of it, would you say, to criminalise hate preachers and the national buyback scheme. What do you think of the laws and this potential rush to Parliament? Look, I've got a few concerns here, Janie. I mean, these are obviously major changes to the rights of Australians in terms of speech and the way we regulate guns and firearms in this country. It seems strange to me that we would make such major changes with less than a week's viewing of the legislation. We haven't seen the legislation today. We're told it's going to come out sometime today, and the plan seems to be to pass it through both houses of Parliament in a week's time. It reminds me a lot, Janie, of the under-16 social media ban, which we also passed within a week just over a year ago, and it's been a complete farce. I mean, all my kids are still on social media. Everyone I talk to, nothing really has changed at all. And so this seems to me just to be another demonstration of the principle that act in haste, repent at leisure. We will be repenting maybe these changes if we don't get them right. I'm particularly concerned about the changes to free speech rights here. Again, the devil will be in the detail, which we haven't seen, but I'm very worried that a purported attempt to ban racial hatred could easily be a Trojan horse to silence criticism of all types of policies, including on immigration, integration, assimilation. That is really concerning to me, because clearly the government's under a lot of pressure about its immigration policies, about how they may have contributed to the lack of social cohesion in our country. And of course, the government would have an interest in seeking to silence any type of criticism under the guise of trying to ban racial hatred.
Yeah, certainly a lot of people, especially for regional areas or people who own guns, are saying that this is a knee-jerk reaction in terms of the gun laws. Of course, we've got the state ones and the federal ones. Before we let you go, the Daily Telegraph, they're reporting the Institute of Public Affairs poll is showing that 53% of people between the ages of 25 and 34 don't want corporations to swap January 6 as a holiday. This is an ongoing yearly debate. What's your reaction?
Yeah, look, it seems to have died down a bit. I mean, you're the first person to ask me about Australia Day, and we're only, I think, 13 days, less than 2 weeks from Australia Day. So normally it's a bit like the Hoss Cross Buns. The Australia Day debate comes out before Christmas. It used to become earlier and earlier, but it's becoming later and later. And I think that's because there's been a massive backlash against the woke corporate attempts to impose cultural change on this country. We saw that a few years ago with Woolworths, banning effectively Australia Day from their stores and suffering a massive customer backlash to the extent that they have backed down now and backflipped, and suddenly they're on the Australia Day train again. So I do think that we're seeing the receding of this agenda, because the vast majority of Australians, as you've identified in that poll, don't want to see the date move. We're proud about our country. It's about time we come together as a nation, particularly after the traumatic events of Bondi late last year. Let's be proud of what we have as a country, cherish that, and the more we do that, the more prosperous and harmonious place we will be.
Senator Matt Canavan, always great to see you. Thank you so much.